Yes.
What's up? We're back.
Hold on, Zach. Down the field, us is not here. And with the blue and silver wings, stand to the rain. Wow, wow, wow. Hard winter's day, we honor you with your fame. That's the Alliance bitches.
I love that dude.
I just had to get that out the way. How
That
are
dude,
you feeling today, Zach?
I'm good, you know. It's great
AKA Mr.
position.
If you guys didn't know, Zach is Mr. One Seed. So tell me how that feels, Zach.
I'm
Mr.
Mr.
One
One Seed.
Seed in the building, Mr.
Okay,
Zachary himself.
sure. I'm happy. I mean, it's been a second since we talked about this, but um, we took a week off. Hope you all
We
had
did.
great little time with your family, whatever you were doing. Um, but we're serious now. It is. We weren't sure we were gonna make it to this point, Evan.
Oh, and we were sure we were gonna make it to this point like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and here we are.
Here we are. It
Yeah.
just it keeps happening. So, Zach, I want to start off this episode. First of all, we're talking about all Lions and some college football today.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry. I will say that I'll start off with this before we get to Lions. Every Detroit team, not named the Tigers, is undefeated in 2025 this year. Pistons,
Every Detroit team that's playing.
that's playing.
There you go.
Pistons just won their fifth straight, sixth straight, something like that.
Oh, Pistons
Yeah,
are
just
Peter, man.
killing, and without Jaden Ivey,
Yep.
just killing it. So I just
The
want to put that
Pistons
out
are
there.
looking great, dude. I don't know if you've been
Pistons looking
watching a
great.
couple games, but
Above
I watched like the
500 for the
last
first
three. It's
time since
amazing.
2018. Above
Beautiful.
500 for the first time since 2018. Red Wings, they keep winning, it seems like. I don't know. The new coaching change. They got
New
rid of
coach. It's going well.
Yeah, doing great, obviously. The Lions. So Zach,
And then
I
the
want to
Lions,
ask
of
you,
course.
and before I ask you this question, because it feels like when a lot of when I see like on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, a lot of Detroiters and Lions fans don't feel like this. But before I ask you this question, I want to take you on this journey of what's called the Detroit Lions 2024-2025 regular season. Okay. You
Yeah.
start off at home against the Rams. Stafford comes back again. Obviously, the game isn't as big as last year because it is a playoff, and this isn't Stafford's first time coming back to Detroit. It's his second. You would get
Yeah.
the win. You have a disappointing next week. You lose to the Bucks. Yeah, we get that. You bounce back against the Cardinals, traveling all the way out west. You win that game. You come back home in our Motor City Muscle uh jerseys. First time we wore
Beautiful
black
jerseys.
jerseys. Exactly. First time we wore the black jersey since before 2010, I think, or somewhere around that, or in the 2010s, early 2010s.
Okay.
And you absolutely body bag the Seahawks. You break the Seahawks curse. We haven't beaten them since God knows how long. Golf goes a perfect 18 for 18. Monty scores twice. Gibbs scores. Laporta, well, not Laporta. JMO scores. Amon-Ra St. Brown scores, and Golf goes like again, perfect 18 for 18 and a receiving touchdown. Body bag the Seahawks. You travel to Jerry's World and dig, you murder the Cowboys. You dig them up, then you
On
murder
Jerry
them
Jones' birthday.
on his birthday. You murder them, dig them up, and murder them again. 47-9. Obviously, the big story of that game was Hutch is out for the season.
Yeah.
His leg kind of snapped in half. The next week, you travel to Minnesota against the red hot Vikings. I think at the time, we gave them the first loss. They were undefeated.
Yeah.
I think at the time, their net rating was the best in the league. They were undefeated at the time. You walk into Minnesota, a hard place to play,
Hmm.
and you beat the Vikings in your first game without your best defensive player. You get a week off, but you come back home after two pretty big road games, and you absolutely body bag the Titans. You score 50 plus. You go then to Green Bay in crappy, rainy, wet, cold weather. Golf has
Outside.
hamburger outside. Golf has hamburger helper gloves on, and you pretty much You pretty much beat the Packers by 3 touchdowns, besides a garbage time touchdown that doesn't matter. Kirby
Yeah.
gets a pick six. You embarrassed them essentially.
Not to mention you
Then
forgot Brian Branch was ejected in that game.
Brian Branch was a we didn't even have him in the game.
Nope.
Then you travel down to Houston, and what was our first real scare throughout the season? Goff throws 5 interceptions, and it doesn't matter.
That,
So throughout that stretch, first of all, you just won four. You just had five. You just had 4 away games. In the last 5 games, 4 were away, one was at home. Not body bag, but you win against each one of those teams. A lot of them in the prime time. Then you get another, not week off technically, but you play the Jags. You score another 50 bomb again. Twice in the same what? 1, 2, 3. You scored 2 50 bombs in a 4 week span against garbage teams, which you're supposed to do. Then you travel to Indianapolis against the Colts. You make Anthony Richardson look like a freshman in college on an NFL stage. You beat them 24-6. You have a short week,
yeah.
Thanksgiving, and a division rival. You come in as 11.5 point favorites, and you beat the Bears on Thanksgiving. First
Thank God.
time of us winning a Thanksgiving game. What, 2016 was it, right?
I think it
Something like that.
was.
Yep. Then you get the Packers, not on a short week, but you play the following Thursday and Thursday Night Football, another primetime game.
Yeah.
Packers come into town, yeah, and you score 34. You beat them by 3 points, and we all are terrified because we go for it on 4th and 2 instead of taking that field
Ah,
goal.
yeah.
Anyway, when you do that, you get 10 days off. You go against the Bills. It's a disappointing. It's a disappointing loss because no one really expected us to go 16-1. But it's disappointing in the sense you lose Monty, you lose Carlton, and you lose Aleem McNeil. That was the most infuriating part
That
about
was
that, and the most depressing part about
yeah.
that loss. Not the loss. Fine losing to the Bills. That was cool.
But yeah,
We
that's
lost to the
okay.
Bills. It's bad. That's fine. It's a bad day. Okay, 2 losses. What is it, like 14-2 right now, or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you go against the following week. You go to Chicago. It's cold. It's windy. Weather's not the best, and you absolutely body bag the Bears. You beat them by 17 points, and you do it pretty convincingly. Then you travel, second last game of the season, you travel to San Francisco, and you get revenge. Obviously, and not necessarily a meaningless game in the sense of this season, but a meaningful game in the sense of what happened the last time we stepped on that field
Yeah.
before this game. We have a back and forth. It's a little sketchy throughout a lot of it, but you beat the 49ers by 6 points, 40 score 40, 40-34. Then you come back, a home finale. You wear Motor City Muscle again, all black uniforms. I think the biggest the regular season divisional game of our lifetime.
It
Two
has to
14
be.
and 2 teams. Yeah, 2 14 and 2 teams, and you don't allow a touchdown to this red hot, crazy Vikings team with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and
Yeah.
Hawkinson and Aaron Jones and Sam Darnold's playing out of his mind, and you beat them by 22 points, 31-9.
Yeah.
So
They
I
did
wanted
not
to
score a
ask,
touchdown.
they didn't score a touchdown at all.
But we
And
got Anzalone
they
back for that game.
exactly, we did get Anthony back,
So
and they had a chance to score a touchdown. They were within the 10 or inside the 10-yard line like 3 times.
they
So
were.
they either went for it or fell for field goals. They went for it and didn't get it, for field goals. So I want to ask you, with all that, and you go throughout the season and you see on social media, oh, first player in NFL history. Gibbs, first player in NFL history. Bates, first player in franchise history. We
Yeah.
break NFL records. We break franchise records. You throw 5 interceptions in a game and you still win.
They'll win.
Your
Yeah.
best defensive player goes down and you
Mind you,
still,
I don't know
it
if you
doesn't
saw
matter.
on that
Still
note,
win.
real quick. I don't know if you saw Hutch is there's only like 6 players that finished with more sacks than him on the season.
Yeah, I know. And he
And
only
he's
played
not played
5 games.
since that's
He
insane.
only played 5 games. So I'm saying you lose your best defensive player, doesn't matter. You lose your second best and third best defensive players,
Yep.
doesn't matter. You find a way to win week after week, giving that it's just unfair. The football gods just crapped on you. They
They
don't
did.
want to see you win. They like it is what happened. I'm not making excuses for it, but it's what happened to you was unfair. And but through all these trials and tribulations, you kept winning and
Yeah.
pretty freaking convincingly. So I want to ask you this as I just took you through that journey. If there isn't a parade on Woodward at the end of February or early March celebrating, I think, the 59th Super Bowl champions, Detroit Lions, if there isn't that parade, is this season, after everything I just told you, the magnitude of the games, all the records, all that stuff, is this season a failure?
We've talked about this for a minute. Like, is it Super Bowl or bust this year, right? That's been something we've talked about week in, week out. I think given the injuries we've had though, I want to say no. Like if we don't win the Super Bowl, but we need to make it to the Super Bowl, right? Because I think I was telling you the other day, we're at the point in the season where we're only going to get better, right? Knock on wood, of course, but we're going to get more pieces back as we get farther into the playoffs, right? With a potential even at Hutch coming back, which is insane. And so I don't want that, but I mean, well, um, but it's like we really need to showcase what we are, right? They've not seen us at full strength because now we got Zedarius, right? That's a huge piece. He's been great since he's been here. Um, but I think it's hard because part of me wants to say if it's still Super Bowl or bust, but given our situation and given the injuries, it shouldn't be Super Bowl or bust. You know, like we need to celebrate the fact that we've made it this far with what we've had missing. But at the same time, we're only getting better. So from here on out, it should be the mindset of I don't care about this game. We need to win it and go on to the next, you know? So it needs to happen, needless to say.
See, for me, I get what you're saying. And there's definitely parts of that I do agree to. But for me, giving everything that we've been through, to your point, yes, I do agree. The injuries that we
Not
had
many
this
teams
year
could do this.
had not, no, no, not at all. No, I don't think any other team in the league, given our injuries, take their best defensive player, their best, take their best two, linemen or D linemen players, kill them for the season. Take their cornerback one, kill them for the season.
Now
Take
corner
their
two,
backup defensive
carry on's
lineman,
hurt.
kill them for the season. Take their best a linebacker, kill them for 6 games.
Yeah,
These teams, they're not going to do what the Lions did. But after all in all, and given the expectations, definitely coming into the season, to me, it was Super Bowl or bust, no matter what. Super Bowl or bust. Obviously, with the injuries, I I never felt like Super Bowl or bust. I just felt like expecting to win the Super Bowl is now turning to hoping to win the Super Bowl, or
to make it to the
they
Super Bowl.
can win the Super Bowl if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sure, but it's again after going 15-2 in the regular season, clinching home field advantage throughout the playoffs,
yeah.
and getting number one seed in a first round bye in the playoffs. That mindset for me, it's still Super Bowl or bust. It just to me,
That's
don't get me
completely
wrong,
fair.
it's cool. It's cool with all these. It's cool for me with all these records and franchise records, NFL records,
I don't care about
breaking
that right now
all that
though.
stuff. That's cool. That shows how good you are. But winning it all, that doing something that only one team in NFL can do, the other 31 can't. Winning it all, getting that parade, getting that Super Bowl trophy, holding the Lombardi, in Detroit, never been done before.
Yeah,
That proves how good you are. It doesn't just show, it
agree.
proves it. And to me, again, there were times when I'm like, this is just unfair, And like I said, I'm not expecting us to win the Super Bowl anymore. But after what
We
we
still won
keep
those
doing and
games.
how we keep finding ways to win games, both on the offensive and
Yeah.
defensive side. By the way, Aaron Glenn coached the most aggressive and best defensive performance I've ever seen against the Vikings.
It looked
On a
amazing.
side note, but I digress. The fact that we keep winning convincingly, my mindset is back to okay, I'm expecting us to win.
Yeah.
And if we don't, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be pissed. Because what happened last year, every single game, obviously every single game leads up to nothing. One builds on top of another. It's a building block to this final record, because you lose a couple of those games in the middle of the season while the Minnesota and Philly were still winning. You don't get this opportunity. You still have to make the playoffs, but you don't get the number one seed. You don't get home field advantage. You're at a disadvantage. You would play this week instead of having, a bye and stuff. So everything leads on
Yeah.
top of another. But it's like I'm sitting last year, everything that happened, the teams we beat, how we beat them. I'm so excited. I'm very happy for the
Of
team.
course.
Every games matters. This year, the same thing. I'm excited. I'm happy for the team, but after the game's over, after I turn that TV off, it's like, okay, on to the next. Like this game's in the past. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied. We win 2 playoff games at home last year, and it's like, hey, that's great. We crossed another check box, check mark, another box, something that we've never done before. And it's like I'm so happy. I think after the Bucks game, I was damn near in tears. I'm just like, yo, I can't believe this is my life right now, LeBron meme. But this year, it's just like feel like all of that will be for nothing if we don't have that parade down Woodward in February or in
That's
March.
completely fair.
That's just I don't see these windows are so small. They're so
Absolutely.
tiny. You have your defensive coordinator, you have your offensive coordinator, both who I am prepared to not be here next year.
Yeah.
This margin that we have is so minuscule, it's so tiny.
This is
You have to get
definitely
it done.
definitely the
It's
year to do it
a bust.
because
It's a bust. Yeah.
it has it has to be this year, right? If this is the best we're gonna look. And I mean that in terms of coaching, in terms of who's here, who's still under contract. Because to your point, we're gonna lose. I just can't see a world where Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, either of them come back, right? They are both deserving candidates of being a head coach. I know they're taking interviews this week with a number of teams. I can't see a world where we get either of them back, honestly. Um, and then also we have guys that are under contract who aren't going to be here maybe next year. I know Kevin Zeitler, we signed to a 1-year deal. I know a couple of the other guys have expiring deals. I know Kirby Joseph, his first day was, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago that we can give him an extension. Um,
Yep.
and we're going to have to start paying these guys, which I'm
Oh
okay.
yeah.
I want to make very clear. I'm okay paying Kirby, make him the highest paid safety in the league. Sure.
Yeah.
He deserves it. But it's not often because we have so you really don't see this position where the guys on your team that you've drafted are still on rookie contracts performing at this quality of a level all at the same time, right?
All
Everybody
pro
develops
levels.
differently,
Yeah.
but it's all working right now. And
Yeah.
this allows us to pay other pieces so we can have even more talent around them. And
Yeah.
it's not really like a common thing to see this because I don't get me wrong, everybody hopes for that. Like in a rebuild, you want your young guys to start getting good while your veterans are able to still teach them and lead by example and everything like that. But it never really works out this well. And so this year would has to be the year, I think. Like it's not I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust because I think we talked about it a couple videos ago, how we think the window might have extended another year um with who we have on our roster. But
Mhm.
in terms of coaching and in terms of everything like that, this is the year.
See, that's what yeah, I do agree with that. We were talking about that, but it's like next year's gonna come with its own challenges
Yeah.
and with its own,
Hopefully a healthier
difficulties. We're not
set
gonna
of
have, yeah,
challenges.
hopefully healthier. Even if we have like just half of the people off IR, that
Yeah.
right now that'd be a huge help and enormous. And then obviously,
If we had
the
half the
challenges are gonna
guys off
come.
IR right now, I don't know what who we're losing to. I don't
That's
think
what I'm
there's
saying.
beating us.
That's what I'm saying. You just have, and that's what it's just like. It's so to me. That's why it's just so super because next year's going to come with its own challenges, its own difficulties.
Yeah.
Our schedule is harder next year, especially our road schedule. You saw it. We talked about it.
Yeah. We
You
did.
travel to Philly, you travel to Washington, you travel to Baltimore, you travel to Kansas City, you travel to Cincinnati. We'll get to that in the future. But next year's going to come with its own challenges. I think definitely will be healthier, but when you have something you have right now, your number one seed, you don't play this week and watch everyone else kill each other. You can just sit back in your lawn chair, sip a cocktail, handle business, get back to work on Monday.
Yeah.
It's just it's like everything is set up so perfectly. Even though we didn't expect this, we didn't expect to be this good with so many pieces, so many important pieces out on IR that are dead for the season.
Nobody did.
Everything is still lining up in place for us to be able to do this. And that's why I think that it's Super Bowl or bust. Because if you make it to the NFC Championship game and you lose, waste. If you go to Super Bowl and you lose, it's a waste of a season. Nothing matters. Nothing. It doesn't matter that well, I have some stats here that your total offense scored almost 7,000 yards this season, 6,992. You averaged 409 yards per game. Passing, Goff had 4,474 yards passing, 263 yards average per game. Rushing, 2,488 yards rushing, 146 per game. You scored 564 points, which is 39 more than the second best or second team, which is Buffalo, and you averaged 33 points a game scored. None of that matters. It goes the window. No records, none of that. None of that matters unless you're hoisting the Lombardi trophy at the end of the season. And that's why obviously you have to have the right steps and win the right games and all the games to get there now. You know, you
Yeah.
have to go 3-0 basically. You gotta win in the divisional, gotta win in the NFC championship, gotta win the Super Bowl. Gotta go 3-0, 3 more games. That's it. But it's like if that doesn't happen, I just think we're done. Like I don't it's a waste of a season. It
Yeah,
was a
no,
waste of a season because
I
it
get
just
that.
that's how it felt. It's coming in with these high expectations after last year, you make it all the way there, you lose. It's like I think that
I
should be a
want,
compliment though. That's the thing.
yeah, because we
The
weren't
Super
supposed to
Bowl
make it that
approach.
far last year.
Exactly. Last year was how do I say it?
We
Last
exceeded
year was
expectations last year,
yeah,
and
exactly. We
that
exceeded
set the bar for this
expectations.
year.
Exactly. This one, we're still meeting expectations right there. Now it's the expectations are getting higher and higher. You win it
Yeah,
all, or to me, it's a bust of a season. I don't know,
I
but
got you. That's fair. I did want to talk about real quick how PFF released their first team All Pro offensive line. There was a lack of Lions on there. I know you saw it. I think I sent it to you. Um, it was
that's what
Jordan Mailata from the Eagles at left tackle, Quentin Nelson at left guard, center was Creed Humphrey, Chris Lindstrom was right guard, and Zach Tom was the right tackle. You're telling me, and hold on, I sent this. Well, let me see if I can find it real quick. Um, by I think I sent it to you. Yeah, by PFF's own standards, right? Penei Sewell was the second bet, had the second most offensive snaps, allowed one sack, and had 6 total penalties, right? And PFF has him ranked really high, as well as then there you go to Zach Tom, who we're comparing because they're both right tackles. Penei Sewell played more offensive snaps, had less penalties, and had less sacks, according to PFF's own stats, right? And run blocking, Penei Sewell does much better at as well. I don't
yeah,
get how there wasn't a single Lion on this all pro first team for offensive line.
yeah, that's a little crazy. I don't.
Because I get Taylor Decker not being there, he's been hurt. Kevin Zeitler has been hurt a little bit. But I think Frank should be there, and I think Penei should be as well, at
Yeah,
minimum. But
yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't know how they make that list or make the rankings or all this and that. I really don't. I don't know how they can how they do that, but it does seem unfair, obviously.
yeah.
But like I said, I was just whatever.
And then
If they don't get it, cool.
there was that
I
one
agree.
thing from the Honolulu Blues that I sent you earlier. This was yesterday about the most games missed to injury by defensive starters, right? The Lions were at 109. The next best was 86, and that was the Panthers. That is a huge gap from first to second
It's
place.
enormous. It's enormous.
Not to mention that team sucks. The fact that we are doing as good as we were, right? Hold on, let me read out the rest of the list, right? In third, there was 80 with the 49ers, 68 was fourth with the Cowboys, and 68 or tied for fourth, I guess, was the Raiders as well. None
You
of
know
those
what?
teams did what we did this
Yeah. Do you
season.
know what all those teams are at right now? They're not in the playoffs, and we're
Nope.
number one seed. I don't
No,
know how I don't know how people can sit here and say, yeah, obviously injuries are part of the game. I get that,
it
but
is.
we're the most injured team, and we're the most injured team in the league,
Yep.
and we're still number one seed in the NFC. We're still that team that will walk into your house, you know,
Walk in
rob
your
you.
trap, take over your trap.
Exactly. Walk into your house, we'll rob you, we'll throw you in the back of your car, then we'll take your car as well. Like that's just
Listen,
how it is.
it's amazing to see us still performing at this level given
It
everything.
is.
And I think,
That's why it's just it just adds on to the point. Win it all. Win it all.
yeah,
We're doing things that shouldn't be happening. We're doing things that probably have never happened in the NFL before. We're doing things that shouldn't happen in the NFL before. We
no,
have this some sort of luck. And don't get me wrong, every team obviously you have to be good, but if you're gonna tell me that luck isn't a part of winning it all or winning games, then you're crazy. It is. You have to be a little lucky. I'm sorry.
You
It is
gotta
what it
be.
is.
Yeah.
You gotta be. So
It's really been a great season. I don't
yes.
want to take it away. I mean, given everything that's happened, what would you have done differently this season? You know?
I was here for the ride, bro. It was
Yeah.
amazing. We handled business. We crossed so many boxes off that we didn't have before. You know, we broke the curses. You know, we beat Seattle, we beat Dallas, we won on Thanksgiving, of number one seed, you know, got payback on
Absolutely.
the 49ers. It was just crossing off boxes. Now there's one more box to cross off. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
And it's
agree.
not
I
it's not
think
a divisional win. It's not an NFC
a Super Bowl
championship.
appearance.
It, it's not a Super Bowl appearance. It's a Super Bowl win.
Yeah. I
And until
completely
that happens, we can't settle for anything less than that.
that's fair. Um, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Um,
But
I saw a
I have
post
something else to
today.
ask you if
Yeah.
unless you go crazy.
No, I just got one more thing. I saw one post
Uh,
earlier today, and it was saying the Lions are screwed for next year because they're not going to have a play caller, and it had Dan Campbell photoshopped with a McDonald's uniform on. I just want to remind people that Dan Campbell actually did play call for us before we had Ben Johnson for a little bit. When we had just Jared Goff, and he didn't do bad. Like we got some of our first wins with Dan Campbell as the play caller. So
yeah.
I wouldn't shoot it out. It's definitely not going to be as creative as it was with Ben Johnson, but I wouldn't shoot it down yet. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah, I wouldn't shoot down either. I don't know who we're gonna get next year. I don't know who can no one's gonna be able to be able to replicate what Ben Johnson's done. I think and no one's gonna be able to replicate what Aaron Glenn has done either. You can kind of hope for it. You can kind of hope that players kind of can get it a little bit, you know, their connection, their chemistry with each other. You hope that, you know, you kind of save, maybe not save plays, but you can save, you know, different formations and you know what you can hope you know you saw from Ben Johnson and stuff like that.
I don't want to do
You
that.
can,
If Ben Johnson's going to the Bears, I'm not doing that. You know?
yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right.
Because
I agree, I
then
agree, I
they
agree.
know it's if Ben Johnson's like, I know exactly what that is, then it
Yeah,
puts us in a position where it's like they're gonna be able to predict what we're coming out
he's
of.
not going to the Bears, so
I hope not. I really hope
he's
not.
not. I heard that if he goes to the Bears, he wants the GM out. So
I heard wherever he goes, he wants to pick his GM.
yeah, rightfully so.
Oh, there's a list of teams that I don't think is
That's the
gonna.
that's the crazy part because it's like if you really do think about Aaron Glenn's gone no matter what. There's no and he proved it this past weekend. He's gone no matter what. But if Ben Johnson really doesn't get the circumstances, you know, that and the team doesn't want to abide by what he wants,
He can come back
he's coming back. He already says, not already says, but he says, I love calling plays. I'm really good at calling plays. And that's something I'm passionate about and something I'm perfectly fine doing. That's
Yeah.
all he got to do as an offensive coordinator.
Then I think
I'll
like
give
the
him a little
next
more
thing he
money,
said in
but
that
it's like,
interview was, but
yeah,
every person wants to see if they could still make it as a head coach.
yeah. I completely
Which
agree with
I
that. But
completely
I
get.
don't, yeah, but I don't think if he doesn't find a perfect fit, and I mean perfect fit, he will be back on the Detroit sidelines running our offense next year.
Because I think the crazy thing is being the play caller allows an opportunity where you're not getting all the blame, right? So if
Yeah.
there's a bad call, Dan Campbell takes responsibility for it, right? The fourth down play or whatever, when Panay went to go catch a ball or whatever, and Dan Campbell's like, "What the hell is this?" Right? Dan Campbell can take responsibility for it. But if the new ownership group or whoever, wherever he ends up, doesn't like what he's doing, then he is the guy that's going to get out, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just he's going to have to find a perfect fit, I think. And I
Yeah.
don't
It's gonna
know.
be it has to be perfect.
I don't want to say it's like a risky play style he uses, but it's definitely not like conventional, like first down we're doing this, second down we're doing this, third down we're doing this, and then
Keeps you on
fourth
your
down we're
toes.
punting or field goal,
It's nothing. It's never the same. It keeps you on your toes.
which is why I think a huge reason for our success this year.
And God help you if he calls some plays and they continue to work. He's just gonna you run it down your throat or pass it down your throat, however it
Well
works.
runs
So
deep, right? That's what they
well,
say.
it's very deep,
So,
very deep. So
but yeah, no, I'm
anyway,
looking forward to this upcoming week of football for NFL.
yeah.
You know, we got some good games. Who do you think we're gonna end up playing?
Let me answer that question after we do our picks. Because
Okay.
once we do our picks, then I can get a better grasp of who I
Okay.
think is going to win, who I think is going to lose, and
That's fair.
stuff like that.
You want to go into
Obviously,
picks now then? That way
one
we
more
can
thing,
just circle
one
right
more
through it.
Lions thing,
Oh, one
one
more.
more
All
Lions
right.
real quick. I got you. Looking back at the season, Zach, what was regular season
Yeah.
as a Lions fan? What was your favorite game? What do you
Okay.
think was their best win? And what did you think was their most important win?
So we've talked about this a whole bunch. I think my answer keeps changing every single time. Um, I think the most I think this is hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's tough because I think my favorite win and the best win might be the same for me, and that's gonna be the first time we played the Packers outside
That was
in
your favorite win.
that was probably my favorite one.
Okay, it's
I
valid.
did enjoy the Cowboys one, but I didn't watch the whole Cowboys game. It got to a point where I turned it off.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if I watched it from the start. I think it was in the car that day, going somewhere. But like I had it on my phone, and then I saw the
Yeah.
notification, Hutch, whatever happened, and I'm like, ah. But um, if that had not had Hutch had not happened, now it probably still wouldn't be my favorite because it's a blowout. I love the blowout games, but it's not
But
like a good quality of
but it's
from spectator.
Dallas though. It's
It was Dallas.
Dallas.
It was Dallas, but no. I gotta say, probably my favorite was probably that Packers game, honestly, because all you ever hear about Jared Goff is how he can't play outside,
Yeah.
and he played amazing outside.
Incredible.
I don't know. That's probably my favorite. That's
Okay.
probably the most important win I think we had as well.
Okay.
Um, because that really showed like we can do this
Yeah.
without a lot of guys, with a guy that just got ejected earlier in the game, we can still do this.
Yeah. Completely.
But yeah, what was the other
And then what
ones?
was your favorite game to watch, their best win, and then their most important win. So their best win, in your opinion.
I don't know. I kind of like our last one, how we ended.
Last one,
We,
yeah.
we looked so complete.
We did.
Like our offense didn't need to do good because our defense was finally playing good.
Yeah.
We looked like a complete football team, truly.
We
But
did.
we're not. We're not. We're not even close to it still. So probably the last one was I don't know. I don't know. What's yours?
All right. Well, obviously, you can definitely put the last one in for their most important win.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the high
I mean,
stakes. I'm not gonna do
like you said,
that.
it was like the most important regular season
It
game.
was technically, but I'm not gonna do that. My favorite game as like a football fan and a Lions fan in general, watching the Seattle game was my favorite. Monday Night Football, prime time, the Lions doing what they doing, and how they won was just appealing as a football fan to my eyes. Goff went a perfect 18 for 18 and over 200 yards passing. He got touched, or I'm sorry, Gibbs, Monty, JMO, St. Brown all scored touchdowns, and Goff scored a
Yeah.
receiving touchdown
The,
with a Kirby Joseph
the receiving
interception.
touchdown was truly a
I
highlight.
know it was
That was
trippy,
amazing.
and you got Kirby got an interception at the end of the game too. It's like everyone got to eat that game. Everyone was just eating, and that was just a
Yeah.
crazy game to watch. And that was my favorite game to watch. Their best win, to your point, I thought was Green Bay going at Green Bay, crappy weather again, defying the odds. You walk into a division rival who at the time was pretty hot.
Yeah.
I think I only had one loss at the time. You walk into a division rival's house, not only division rival, but Green Bay's house in Lambeau Field, and you body bag the Packers. You simply do. Golf plays amazing. You handle them pretty convincingly. Besides
Yeah.
like a garbage time touchdown, that was a three-score game. So I think that was their best win. Again, defying the odds of golf playing outside and bad weather and stuff like that. And their most important win, because I think it set up this final game so perfectly. You had to win the first game at Minnesota, and that's what they did. And I think that was so important is because it was a divisional game, arguably a more hostile environment than Lambeau. Honestly, I've heard playing in Minnesota isn't easy. Arguably more a more hostile environment than Lambeau. The day after or the game after Hutch got hurt, how are you going to respond?
That's
And they
completely fair.
responded, with a win on the road, division rival. And if you don't win that game, Minnesota wins the division.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happened the last game. So
I
that's
still
what
don't
that's why
think
I thought
Minnesota's that
that
good
was
of
their
a
most
team.
important win. Yeah, I think we'll get to the picks. Let's do the picks. Let's do the picks. Let's do
Okay.
that.
But no, that's completely justifiable. You know, the game after Hutch, everybody doesn't know where we're gonna end up.
Exactly,
Um,
and you body bag him
we don't know where we're gonna end up, honestly, either. You
at
know,
all.
like we said, he finished like top 7 in sacks and has only played 5 games this year.
He was on pace to go over 20 sacks this year,
Like
and
he
there's no doubt in
became
my mind he
a
couldn't have done
beast.
that. And there's no doubt he could have done that. He could have done that. There's no doubt in my mind. So it's unfortunate. We gotta hope he can come back a little bit
Yeah,
like
no,
himself. So we'll see.
I'm hopeful, but we talked about this the other day. If the opportunity comes for him to come back 70% for the Super Bowl, would you do it?
No, Dan Campbell already said he's he's suffered. People gotta realize Hutch snapped his freaking leg in half.
Yeah.
He suffered a season-ending injury. Let me say it again. Season-ending injury.
Yeah.
He's on pace. He's on pace to be one of the best Lions defensive players of all time. He
Maybe
keeps
even
this up.
player period.
He's on pace. Exactly. He keeps this up. He's going to be on pace to have a gold jacket and be in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
I am not I am not risking that. There's nothing right now about how we're playing defensively that makes me say we absolutely 100% need Aiden Hutchinson right now.
I
There's
agree.
nothing about that says that. Because if you really think about it, since we lost Aiden Hutchinson, how many games we lost? One.
Just one. How many games we lose when we had him? Just one,
One.
right?
And like, what does that say about?
That's
I'm not gonna say.
maintainable.
Obviously, you have him. We win games by more points. Maybe we don't even lose the Bills game. That's what he's saying. There's all these
Yeah,
what ifs. We have him. He makes our team better, obviously, but it's not like we need him like air. It's not like
I
that.
agree.
Keep finding ways to win.
Yeah.
You don't need him. Let him rest. I'm
I
sorry.
want
Let
I
him
want to say
rest. He'll be
since
back next year. Let him rest.
I agree.
I want. I
That's
want
the answer I
vintage
was
Hutch
going to
back.
say as
I don't
well.
want to. Huh?
That's completely what I was going to say as well. I
Yeah.
don't want him coming back.
Don't
Even
want
if
him back.
there's a
Don't want him back
possibility, I don't want it. You know,
at
I'd rather
all.
let him rest up.
Thank you.
Because it's just not worth it, right?
At all.
Because if he's fully healthy all next year, that extends our gap for another Super Bowl.
Exactly. Then you have think about all the players we're gonna have back next year too, Zach. Oh
Exactly.
my gosh.
Plus, I think Zedarius has been doing, like I said, an amazing job this year. Um, he's looked amazing. And I'm also very impressed with, forget his first name, but his last name is Muhammad. He's number like
Oh
69.
yeah, Al Qadim. Al
He,
Qadim Muhammad.
yes,
Yeah.
he's playing amazing, dude. He like
Is
this is a great team chemistry thing going on right now, and everybody's flowing. And I don't want to. We don't need to touch that. But yeah. You got anything else for the lines right now? Or you want to move on to the picks?
yeah, let's move on to the picks. Win the Super Bowl or everything was for nothing. Let's
Yeah.
go.
In conclusion, all right. So for NFL wild card, we got some decent games coming up. Saturday starts the little slate here with Chargers against Texans. What you got here?
Chargers, Texans. Texans, they're a dead
Chargers did
team.
just
I'm
sign
sorry.
Zeke. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, Texans, they're a
But
dead team. They have no wide receivers. I think their team went as their well, they had no wide receivers. Part of me thinks their team went as their wide receivers went, and their O line is just awful. And it feels like Stroud can feel maybe a little. It just doesn't. He's not playing as good as he was beginning of the season.
yeah, or
So
last year for that
or
matter.
last year. So I think even though I think the reason that they're in it right now is because their division is just so awful. That's
Who else is
why.
in that? I got
The
a
the
poster
Colt
here.
Colts,
Oh my
Jags,
God, Colts,
Titans.
Titans, Jags. Yeah, no.
Exactly. Yeah. Give me the Chargers, please. Give me the Chargers, please. I'm for the playoffs, Zach. I'm gonna do something for the playoffs too with our picks. Hold on. So make your picks. Make your picks, and I'm gonna tell you what I want to do for the playoffs.
Okay. I was kind of hoping you were gonna go Texans here, but because I was gonna pick the Chargers as well. I
Yeah.
think the Chargers have something great going on right now. Um, and they're not even at the best they can be. You know, they've also suffered some injuries. I don't know if J.K. Dobbins is playing this week, but I'm gonna rock with the Chargers as well.
So for the playoffs, I want to do picks and also like spread, if that makes sense. Covering
Yeah,
the
let's
spread.
do it.
Chargers are -2.5. I think they'll cover.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
you got the Chargers with the points and the win.
Yeah,
Bet. I'll do the same thing. Who's next?
I'm just adding that to the sheet so we
Yeah,
can
no,
put
you're
on the
good. Yeah,
bet.
you're good. I just thought that was a little cool because there are some games where I think a team's gonna win, but I just don't think they're gonna win by that much.
I
Like the
agree.
Lions on Thanksgiving against the Bears. I didn't think they were gonna win by over 11.
That's
And they're
crazy. Chargers are favored.
only 2.5. I don't know. I feel like that's
I don't know.
way.
I feel like that's high because it's at Houston, no?
I feel like that's. I mean, if they're predicting the Chargers to win by that, they're really predicting the win by like at least 5 or something. Because
That's
yeah,
true.
at
Yeah.
Houston, yeah, at
Okay, that's fair.
I thought that. Yeah, so yeah, give me the
The
Chargers.
the next game for the Saturday slate is Steelers Ravens in Baltimore. No Zay Flowers, we were
Um,
just talking about.
yeah, nose they flowers for the Ravens. I still don't think that matters. Steelers are just they're the best subpar franchise and team we've seen since the turn of the century. I'm sorry. So
Listen, Mike
they're just
Tomlin
gonna
knows amazing.
they're
Never
gonna
had an
yeah.
under 500 season is crazy.
Yeah, never that is a crazy stat, but it's like if you stay there, obviously it's a great stat, you know, you're not losing, but if you stay there, just right in the middle when people are having they'll have lows, which you'll look great, but they're also gonna have way higher highs too. So
Yeah.
it's like, do you want to just surf that mid wave, if that makes
And
sense?
they
Like
won
I feel
what?
like at some
One
point you
Super
have to
Bowl?
be disgruntled with it. What do you say?
They won one Super Bowl?
Two.
Two.
I think Big Ben has two. Yes, I think they won two. So okay, so Steelers, Ravens. I'm gonna go Ravens for this one.
I'm doing the same as
I
well.
don't yeah, I think Ravens.
And then what's the next?
Ravens 9.5 though. I might take the Steelers in the points. In the points. I don't think the Ravens are gonna win by 10 points. I think I'm gonna take the Ravens to win, but I'm gonna take the Steelers points. They're not winning by 9.5 or more than 9.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, 9.5 point favorites. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah,
That's called Steelers cover then, right?
yeah, Steelers will cover. Steelers recover. Yep, Steelers recover. But Ravens are gonna win, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay.
Starting off the Sunday slate, we got Broncos at Bills, which I still
Ooh.
think is crazy. They're in the same division. I mean, they're so far
A
away.
great game. I'd still be a really good game.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a really good game. And part of me thinks the Broncos can do it, but
Oh,
I part of me thinks.
okay. No, I
Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go Buffalo though. I'm gonna go Buffalo. They're 8.5 point favorites at home. It's not like this team is like from the south. It's not like Miami. The Broncos aren't Miami. They're used to playing in the cold. You know, they have their stadium is
both
a
are. Yeah,
mile high in the
absolutely.
air. So they're not, I don't think, and the cold's not gonna phase them. So I'll take Buffalo 8.5. Make your pick. I gotta see if they're gonna win by more than 8.5. I don't know if they're gonna win by more than 8.5, though. I might take the
Um,
Broncos in the points, but I'll take Buffalo for the win. Because their defense is good. Broncos defense is really good. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Buffalo's gonna win this game. Broncos will cover. Eight and a
okay.
half. That's their favorite. Buffalo favorite 8.5. So yeah, but Bill's gonna win. Denver's gonna cover.
I don't think I'm picking the Bills to win as well. I don't think they're gonna 8.5. It's like right on the line, you know?
That's why.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that the Broncos don't cover. I think the Bills could totally win by 10. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's more than fair. Hell yeah.
next we got Packers Eagles
Ooh, in Philly.
in Philly.
In Philly. What game? What day is this? Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay, so Packers Eagles in Philly Sunday. The Eagles are they had Hurts hasn't played since his concussion
Yeah, he's been
against the
hurt. He's
Commanders.
still hurt, isn't he?
Yeah, I think I want to say he just came back to practice this
Okay.
week after his concussion.
I
That
saw
was
him
going to be
yesterday. I don't
the
think he was
deciding.
back, but
Oh, really? Okay, so
Or
I
maybe two
just
days ago. I don't remember.
don't know why. I think the Packers can win this game. I really do.
But
But Eagle,
no,
uh, oh, I gotta go Eagles, bro. Is that the only reason I'll go Eagles is at Philly? That's all. That's why. I'll go Eagles. They had a great game at the beginning of the season in Brazil. That was the first game of the season, I believe. Eagles are minus 4.5. The 4.5 point favorites. I'll take the Eagles with the win and the points. I don't think Green Bay is going to cover. I think they win by a touchdown. So I'll take the Eagles and the points for the Eagles.
I am gonna do the same exact thing. Eagles win. I don't even think it's gonna be that close. The Packers kind of been disappointing lately.
They
Um,
have.
not disappointing. I'm happy. I'm gonna make that clear. But they've kind of been on a downward track for the season here. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was the whole Toyota-thon thing for Jordan Love, but
Yeah, that got shut down quick.
yeah, it's kind of going down a little bit. So the Eagles also are looking really good. Their rookies on defense are doing amazing. Um,
Yeah.
I just think they're the more complete team, and so I'm gonna pick the Eagles.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I think they 4.5 is crazy. They're score it's they're gonna win by a lot more than
Yeah.
that.
I feel like this is like the fact that you have like the Bills, that 8.5 and with the other team, oh yeah, 9.5 for the Ravens, you don't have a similar number like this for this game, is I'm just like, okay. So yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take the Eagles and the points with it for the Eagles, yeah.
I agree. And then the last Sunday slate game, we got Commanders at Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh. This
This
should be a
one
good
could
game
go
too.
either way, I think.
Yeah.
This is probably the most competitive, not most competitive, but I think this will be the closest game um on the Sunday slate.
Um, just because they have home field, I'll go Tampa. They're -3. I'll say Tampa. I say they cover
Also,
3.
real quick, I want to point out Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore meet up. We weren't expecting to
Yeah,
have
you're
this.
right.
I am excited,
Ever.
Both are gonna play.
It's crazy how the world works.
I saw some things saying it was like a WWE like brawl or something, and it's like Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore about to make up for lost time this season. Not to
Yeah,
mention Mike
that's a good
Evans,
thing.
he's what, 85 yards or something? Is that what I saw?
What?
Or no, he got the
He got it.
1K, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah,
I
he
saw
got
like
that.
three different posts and they were all misleading, so I wasn't sure which was which.
Yeah, he got it. He got it last week
Okay.
against the Saints. They almost lost.
Yeah. Okay, so Bucks, what's the line?
-3. They're 3 point favorites. I think they cover.
Just straight up three?
Yeah, straight up 3.
You think Commanders cover?
No, I think Tampa covers.
Oh, okay. I I'm also gonna pick what?
Commanders might cover though. I can see them losing this game by like a point or two.
I
Uh,
think I think it'll come down to a touchdown.
touchdown. That's what I was thinking.
Like I don't know. I've not heard too much of either of these teams, and I don't know either kicker being insane, so if it comes down to like a
That's
50,
true.
50 yarder. I don't know how locked in they are for that. But I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay as well. I think Baker Mayfield's been hot.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of Baker Mayfield as well. Um, I like Mike Evans as well too. So I think they're gonna do well. But Jaden Daniels had a great season with the Commanders.
Rookie of the year. Rookie of the year.
Yeah, I agree. And then the final,
Are you taking the -3 too? Like, are you
no, I think yeah, yeah.
the Bucks or the Commanders?
Like in the for the Bucks, I think it'll be more than three. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Last one for Monday is Vikings at Rams. This one is also going to be a great game. This one plays a huge role for the Lions.
Yep. It does. I think I had the feeling that whoever lost the Vikings Lions game wasn't going to win this game. You had to travel to LA, which after the fires, hope everyone out there is doing this. I'm really
Yeah, that's
unfortunate what's happening.
crazy what's going on
Yeah.
outside.
After the fires, though, I did hear that they could flex it away from LA and have it in at State Farm in Arizona if they have
Oh,
to.
like
The
a neutral
NFL's,
site. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So, regardless, I still think the Rams are going to win this game. Minnesota is a 1 point favorite on the dot, so give me the Rams and the points, obviously, since I'm taking them to win. So I'll take the Rams. I'm taking the Rams.
Um, I like that. I'm also gonna pick the Rams to win. Um, 1 point favorite. That is close.
I
Um,
know.
I think the Rams have looked like a better team lately. The Viking. I backtracking a little bit. I didn't think the Vikings would be this good this year, and it's kind of reminding me, in all seriousness, like a better version of the Giants team we saw a couple years ago when they made the playoffs, and then they beat the
Yeah,
Vikings in the playoffs. That Giants team,
they
and then
did.
it all went down the drain. That's kind of what it feels like for me with this Vikings team. Um, you have some great pieces, but I still feel like they're missing a decent amount of stuff to be at the competitive level and stay competitive throughout the playoffs. So I think I'm gonna take the Rams. And Vikings being 1 point favorites is crazy. I'm gonna take the Rams over on that as well.
All right, sweet. I'm the same picks.
Yeah, almost identical. Sick. Then the last thing I got for you is, and I know we got some college football on tonight.
We do. We got some college football tonight. We got some college football. Just a mini recap. Ohio State is the best team in the country unless they play the University of Michigan. Uh,
Unfortunately.
it is what it is. I don't know. They look like juggernauts. They well, first of all, the playoff needs to be reconstructed. This 12 team stuff is outrageous.
Yeah.
The first four teams all had buys, all got body bagged, but
Yeah.
they lost pretty convincingly. In the first games or after that first round bye. Not playing for a month affects you, obviously. And it's just out 12 seems a lot. To me, excuse me, 8 to me seems perfect, but they definitely need to redo it. But Ohio State, unless they go back to their ways against Michigan, there's no way that any team can beat them in the country right now. Jeremiah Smith should be able to go to NFL. He's a monster. He might be the best player in college football right
Dude,
now.
he is insane. Like,
Yeah, he's
if he could get
ridiculous.
drafted right now, he'd be
No, he could. Like
he would compete. Like,
he's like 6'3", 6'4", 220. Like that's like Julio size.
that's insane. That's truly
It's a freshman.
crazy.
It's a fresh Zach. We're older than him.
Where did I go wrong, man? I didn't eat my veggies growing up. Oh. Dang.
Jeez.
But yeah, so starting off with the Orange Bowl, 7 Notre Dame, 6 Penn State. Um I did we, I did see that a lot of the Notre Dame guys got the flu right now. What you thinking? The
I
Cotton
think
Bowl
both defenses are
or
really
Orange
good.
Bowl, sorry.
Yeah, I think both defenses are really good. I personally believe more in the Penn State offense than Notre Dame offense. And for that reason, I'm going to go Penn State.
I really thought you were gonna go to Notre Dame. Not gonna lie.
I was thinking
I got
about
a
it. I'm
feeling
thinking
we're gonna have
now.
some similar picks here as well.
Probably
Uh,
will.
I'm also taking Penn State. I just think, to your point, I think right now their team looks a little bit better. Their defenses are both astounding. Um, but Penn State's offense is a little bit better than Notre Dame. And if Notre Dame's really battling the flu, like locker room wide, that's not, there's no way you're going to be able to perform at the level you want to perform at with that.
At all. At all.
If they win, though, we're going to see so many flu game posts, I feel like.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. Oh my
but
gosh.
yeah, I think Penn State's going to win this one as well. So we'll see. That's tonight. Kind of exciting. And then we got the Cotton Bowl, 8 Ohio State, 5 Texas.
It's gonna be a good game. I think it'll be a better game than Oregon. Both teams, they've played every week since the
They played some
playoffs
outstanding football.
first. Yeah, they've played. They're not rusty. They've been playing games.
Yeah.
I think I trust after what happened with Texas and Arizona State last week. I think I trust Ohio State a little bit more. Their weapons on offense, definitely their defense. I think they're gonna Ohio State will be going against a better defense with this Texas team. The secondary and the D line is going to be more of an even matchup for sure. But I like Ohio State this one. Like I said, unless they're playing Michigan,
That
this team is the most talented team in the country on paper, bro. And they're
no,
proving it.
this comes back to the argument we had at the beginning of the year of they have an NFL roster, right? We talked about this like week 2, week 3, week 4. Um, they really have quite possibly the most talented college roster on paper we've ever seen, right? It's crazy. Um, I don't know. So you're taking Ohio State?
In Ohio State for this game. Like I said, they might mess around and win it all. So give me Ohio State.
I am so upset because I all year I've wanted Texas to win. Um, I still really want Texas to win, but I don't know.
Pick Texas.
I want to pick Texas, but in good conscience, based on the performance that they've been having lately, I don't know if I
It's
can.
one game, Zach.
I don't care about picks aside. I'm just it's like
So the Ohio State lost to Michigan, a 7-5
yeah, but
team.
Ohio
I'm still
State looks like the more complete team at this moment. Texas should not have had these as close of games as they've had recently.
you're gonna be mad if you don't pick Texas and they win.
You know what? I'll pick Texas just because
Say
I
just pick them, but then if you think if you want them to win, you think they're gonna win. You've been going for them all season long. Why not? They're here now.
I did the same thing with Michigan State, man. Like it didn't matter who they played. I picked Michigan State.
Yeah, you're
Um,
right. I sometimes did that, but I knew they would get killed.
yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping Texas pulls it out because I do really like this Texas team.
Oh yeah,
But
they're a good
we'll see
team.
what happens. Um, yeah, that's all our picks. We got that. Anything else you want to talk about?
I got all the Lion stuff off my chest. College football has been it's been fun to watch. Obviously, it's been cool
Yeah.
to watch, but I definitely think a new format's needed, necessary. But just still, even watching that Ohio State game last week, it's like every time just touchdown, touchdown, come back, touchdown. I think over 300 yards in the first half. It was just like it was that was like BTA
Yeah.
against like the like Oregon, like convincing number one team throughout the season until that game. They made them look like a JV football team. That was horrendous.
That was yeah. That was
That's
not
a horrible way to go out. And it looked like more Oregon. It was a one West Coast. More Oregon fans like they were there anyway. Like that's a terrible way to end your season.
it
Like
sucks.
to not even be competitive.
No.
That wasn't a competitive game at
It
all.
sucks because if Ohio State wins it all, right? I'm not gonna I think they needed to lose to Michigan to get to this point. If they didn't lose to Michigan, I don't think they would have been like
I
they
agree.
but if they win it all, now all the Michigan fans would be like, it's because of us. Like, yes, but where did you guys end up? Which did
If
beat
you
Alabama in the bowl game, unfortunately. Um, I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's just like Michigan fans are so delusional and just it's like I've told you, it's a cult. It's a cult. Michigan fan base is a cult. It's but like they're the type of fan base to have their arch nemesis like win it all. And they are just so honestly, like they're like, oh, we beat Ohio. That's all that matters, beating Ohio State. Well, I promise you, Ohio State is not thinking about Michigan right now, or if they win national championship. As a Michigan
No.
State fan, I would lose to Michigan 100 times out of 100 times if it means I win national championship. Because it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you
It
serious?
doesn't matter. The rivalries, they run deep, not as deep as winning it all. If
No.
Ohio State wins it all, like it's just what else matters? Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. The rivalry doesn't matter. The scores doesn't matter. What matters is that Ohio State would have completed the gauntlet, beat better teams, went through the trials and tribulations to win it all, and you guys watch them do it from your
So,
couch. You can
on a,
say that you beat them all you want. They're getting a ring. They're getting a national championship.
yeah,
They'll be remembered more than you beating them on uh one afternoon, one 12 o'clock game in November. So
so in a hypothetical, you know, who would have had the tougher path for the national championship between the last two winners? Say Ohio State this year and Michigan last year. Because that's a tough, 12 team playoffs. It's a little different.
Ohio State
But
Probably Ohio State
they
because just the
played who?
teams they haven't played.
Alabama and they played TCU.
No, no, I'm saying just the team. Oh, last year?
Yeah,
Oh, and they beat Alabama in the semi, then Washington in the Natty.
Washington.
Yeah, but just the teams that had to play. I gotta say, I gotta say Ohio State because it's like you play you obviously you play Oregon, you play Oregon in the regular season, you play Penn State in the regular season.
Yeah,
I forgot if they played any other hard games, but Oregon, Penn State in regular season. And then you play Tennessee in the first round of the playoffs at home. You travel to California, you beat Oregon after they beat you, the number one seed in the playoffs. Then you play in another New Year's. They're essentially winning. If they win it all, they essentially win like two New Year's Six bowl games in one year.
yeah.
You win the Rose
I don't
Bowl.
know how
You
I feel
go,
about that though, right? Because that just takes away from.
yeah, no, I get what
It's
you're
like an
saying.
extra trophy for
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. I get what
But
you're saying. That is kind of crazy to think about. Oh, the 20 they won the
we
Rose
won
Bowl and
this
the
bowl,
play
and the
and the
national
and the
championship.
Cotton Bowl in the same year, like within
Like,
weeks apart. But yeah, so you do that, then if you beat Texas, you win the Cotton Bowl against Texas, who's
yeah,
really good here. And then you go on, if you win the national championship, you either do that against Notre Dame team or the runner-up of the Big Ten with Penn State that you already beat this season. So I probably gotta say Ohio State.
that's fair. I agree. I mean, I just think the 12 team format's kind
Makes
of
it a little harder.
yeah. I'm not really a fan of it. You know,
Yeah,
I
I'm not a
like
big
that
fan
they
of it.
expanded, but going from 4 to 12 is
Yeah,
crazy.
they should have went to eight. They should have went to eight.
I mean, this year's like a true tale because look what happened to all the number one seeds. First of all the high up seeds, they all lost.
Yeah,
Boise should
bad
not have been given a bye week. We saw,
at all.
or Arizona State.
At all. Or
Like,
Clemson. Or not even by I'm tripping. But yeah, like I just the 18, yeah, I'm cool with them adding that power five or the group of five or group of four now.
I
Oh,
agree.
before
I love a
team.
good
And
miracle run.
I'm cool with that group of four team even getting home field advantage. But
A bye
a
week is
bye,
crazy.
really? Really? By
Yeah.
the way, I'm not even trying to hate. I'm not even trying to hate. But we saw what happened when Genty played a real football team.
He had a good game though, I thought. It was like decent yardage still. A lot
He's,
tougher. Don't get me wrong. We knew it was going to be a tougher game, but you see he did declare the
he did
draft.
declare. You're right. He had a good game. Let me see. Hold on.
So,
104 yards, 30 carries, no touchdowns, 3.5 yard average.
but I saw a video. It was like because I had a feeling you were going to bring this up. It was like Jonty only averaged 3.5 yards a carry. And then they showed some of the videos of what it took to get for him to get 3 fucking yards. Pardon my language, but it was like the blocking was terrible from the offensive line in that game, right? He had to fight the second he was handed the ball for those 3 yards. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's definitely, I'm not arguing it's a different quality of defense because Penn State was the best defense they've played at all year, but their offensive line, I don't know if it's necessarily on Jonty as much of it as it is the offensive line because the
I
offensive
agree.
line at least
I
has
mean,
stood a chance.
that was that whole team's first real test.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That was their first real test against not Wyoming, San Jose State, UNLV, like those types of schools. Not their
Yeah.
first. They did play Oregon, a different Oregon team beginning of the year, but
That
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 was
Oregon
really
team was
the
not the same
first.
Oregon team.
I agree. And Penn State had a way better, in my opinion, had a way better defense and has a way better
I
defense
agree.
than Oregon. So that was This is their first real test, and they just
Yep.
unfortunately weren't able to live up to it. So
Yeah.
uh, we'll see what happens this week.
Yeah, should be a good week. So, with that being said, though, I got nothing else. Evan, you got anything? No. We
Go
will see you in the
Lions
next episode then.
next week. Take care, guys.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.